Have you ever felt overwhelmed by life's challenges? Have you faced setbacks that seemed impossible to bounce back from? If you're like most of us, you've probably encountered moments when the weight of stress, adversity, or failure made you question your ability to persevere. Well, imagine if you had the tools to remain calm, strong, and focused no matter what life threw your way. What if you could turn those difficult moments into opportunities for growth? That's where Stoicism comes in. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism, practiced by some of history's most resilient figures, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, offers us a roadmap for cultivating mental toughness and emotional resilience. Today, we're diving deep into practical Stoic techniques that can help you weather any storm with unwavering calm and unshakable strength. We'll explore how to master your emotions, detach from what you can't control, and develop an inner fortress of mental clarity that no external event can break. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the core Stoic practices for resilience but also know how to apply them to your daily life, whether you're facing a personal challenge, professional pressure, or just navigating the unpredictable chaos of modern life. So, if you're ready to become more resilient and live a life guided by purpose and peace of mind, stick around. Let's unlock the Stoic mindset and start building the resilience you need to thrive, no matter what. Stoicism and its historical roots. Definition of Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy that emerged in the early 3rd century BCE, founded by Zeno of Citium in Athens. It teaches that virtue, living in accordance with reason, is the highest good, and that external circumstances are largely beyond our control. Stoics believe that we should focus on cultivating inner strength and resilience, as well as learning to live in harmony with nature and reason. The central tenet of Stoicism is the development of personal virtue and wisdom as the path to true happiness. Stoicism was particularly influential in ancient Rome, where it was embraced by influential figures and military leaders. Historical roots in ancient Greece and Rome. The philosophical school of Stoicism emerged during a time of political turbulence in Greece, following the fall of the Greek city-states. Zeno of Citium, the founder, began teaching his philosophy around 300 BCE in Athens, where it was studied by other notable thinkers. While its origins were rooted in Greece, Stoicism found an even broader audience in ancient Rome, where it shaped the lives and minds of several key figures, including emperors and scholars. Over time, Stoicism grew from a philosophical school of thought into a practical approach to living. It became central to Roman culture, particularly among the elite, who believed Stoicism provided a way to maintain control over one's emotions and decisions, regardless of external circumstances. Key Stoic philosophers. Socrates, 469 to 399 BCE. While not a Stoic himself, Socrates' ideas laid much of the groundwork for Stoic philosophy. Socrates emphasized the importance of questioning one's beliefs and pursuing wisdom above all else. He believed that virtue is the only true good, which was an idea that would heavily influence the Stoic thinkers. His approach to life, focused on reason, self-awareness, and the pursuit of knowledge, shaped the Stoic focus on internal growth and rationality. Zeno of Citium, 334 to 262 BCE. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, was born in Cyprus and began teaching in Athens around 300 BCE. His philosophy blended elements from earlier schools of thought such as Cynicism and Socratic thought. Zeno emphasized that virtue was the key to a good life and believed in the idea of living according to nature. He founded the Stoic school in Athens, teaching his students in the Stoa Poikile, the painted porch, which is how Stoicism got its name. Epictetus, 55 to 135 CE. Epictetus, a former slave, is perhaps one of the most influential Stoic philosophers. His teachings, largely preserved through the writings of his student Arian, emphasize the importance of focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. Epictetus famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." His philosophy centers on the cultivation of inner freedom and the resilience that comes from understanding one's own limitations. Seneca, 4 BCE 65 CE. Seneca was a Roman statesman, playwright and Stoic philosopher. His writings, particularly his letters and essays, offer practical advice for applying Stoic principles to everyday life. Seneca's work addresses the human condition, urging people to live according to nature, cultivate virtue, and embrace hardship as a means of growth. His philosophical writings often explore themes of anger, wealth, and the fleeting nature of life. Marcus Aurelius, 121–180 CE. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, was also one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. His personal journal, later published as Meditations, offers profound insights into the application of Stoic philosophy in leadership and daily life. Marcus Aurelius' Stoicism emphasizes self-discipline, humility, and the importance of aligning one's actions with virtue. He regarded adversity and suffering as opportunities to strengthen one's character, as seen in his reflections about duty, mortality, and reason. Resilience in Stoicism, mental fortitude and steadfastness in adversity. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on resilience, the ability to remain steady and unshaken in the face of adversity. The philosophy teaches that external circumstances, such as illness, loss, or misfortune, should not disturb our inner peace. This is because it is our judgments and reactions to these events, not the events themselves, that cause us distress. The Stoic approach to resilience is built around several key practices, such as the dichotomy of control, perception management, and embracing the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. Stoics believe that by practicing rationality and focusing on what is within our control, we can build the mental fortitude needed to overcome life's challenges. In this way, Stoic resilience is not about avoiding hardship but rather about cultivating an unshakable mind that can endure and grow through hardship. The core principles of Stoicism. Virtue as the highest good. In Stoicism, virtue is considered the highest good. The four cardinal virtues that Stoics strive to embody are wisdom, the ability to make good judgments, understand the world, and act in accordance with nature. Courage, the strength to face adversity, stand firm in one's beliefs, and endure hardship with grace. Justice, the pursuit of fairness, acting in the interest of the common good and treating others with dignity and respect. Temperance, the ability to exercise self-control, moderation, and avoid excess. For Stoics, virtue is not just a theoretical concept, it is a practical guide for living a fulfilling life. A Stoic person cultivates these virtues daily through reflection, intentionality, and practice. Dichotomy of control. One of the most important Stoic ideas is the dichotomy of control, which teaches that we should focus our efforts on what is within our control, our thoughts, emotions, and actions, while accepting that external events, such as the actions of others, natural occurrences, and fate, are beyond our control. By accepting what we cannot change and focusing on what we can achieve peace of mind and emotional resilience. Epictetus expressed this by saying, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." Living in accordance with nature. Stoicism teaches that living in accordance with nature means understanding the natural laws of the universe and aligning our actions with them. This idea involves acknowledging that the world operates on a rational, interconnected order, and that humans should live in harmony with this order. Resilience comes from recognizing that adversity is a natural part of life and that by accepting and adapting to these challenges, we align ourselves with the greater flow of life. The importance of rationality. Reason is central to Stoicism because it is through rational thought that we can evaluate our emotions, make wise decisions, and maintain control over our reactions. Stoics believe that by using reason to separate ourselves from irrational impulses and emotional disturbances, we can cultivate mental clarity and emotional resilience. Rationality helps us stay grounded, maintain perspective, and choose the best course of action in any given situation. Resilience through perception. The role of perception in Stoicism. According to Stoicism, it is not external events that disturb us but our perceptions of those events. In other words, it's how we interpret situations that determines whether we feel distress or remain calm. Stoics teach that by changing our perceptions, we can change our emotional reactions and cultivate resilience. Cognitive reframing. Cognitive reframing is a technique borrowed from Stoic philosophy that involves changing the way we perceive challenges and adversity. By learning to view obstacles as opportunities for growth or lessons in resilience, we can transform potentially negative experiences into sources of strength. For example, instead of seeing failure as a setback, a Stoic might view it as a chance to practice patience, learn, and improve. Amor fati. Amor fati is the Stoic practice of loving one's fate. It is the belief that we should embrace everything that happens in our lives, both good and bad, as part of our journey. This practice encourages acceptance of adversity as something that contributes to our personal growth and resilience. Instead of resisting hardships, Stoics teach that we should learn to love them as they are essential to the fabric of our lives. Memento mori. Memento mori, the reminder of our mortality, is another Stoic practice that strengthens emotional resilience. By reflecting on the impermanence of life, we are reminded to cherish the present moment, live with purpose, and not be overwhelmed by trivial concerns. Understanding that life is fleeting encourages us to focus on what truly matters, helping to cultivate inner strength and perspective in the face of challenges. Emotions and resilience. Stoic view on emotions. Stoicism teaches that emotions, particularly negative ones, arise from misjudgment or faulty beliefs. Stoics categorize emotions as the result of irrational thinking and attachment to things outside our control. For example, the emotion of anger arises when we perceive that an event or person has wronged us, and we judge that this is an injustice that should be avenged. The Stoic perspective, however, teaches that such emotions stem from false beliefs about what is good or bad. To the Stoics, it's not the external event that causes distress, but our judgment of it. Key Stoic insight. The Stoics argued that passions, emotions like anger, fear, and jealousy, are destructive because they undermine rational thought and hinder our ability to align with nature. According to Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Thus, emotional resilience in Stoicism comes from understanding that we are the ones responsible for our emotional reactions, not external events or people. Managing anger, fear, and anxiety. Stoicism provides concrete methods to manage emotions like anger, fear, and anxiety. Anger. A Stoic approach to anger involves reminding oneself that the cause of anger, whether it's a person, situation, or event, is beyond your control. Anger is a sign that your judgment has gone astray, and you've placed importance on something unimportant. The Stoic response is to take a step back, reflect on the situation, and choose to respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. Seneca, in his essay on anger, suggests 3 techniques. Take a pause, breathe deeply and reflect. Reframe, ask yourself, what did this person's actions really cost me? Remember that others act according to their own judgments, not yours. Fear. Fear is often based on imagining future harm that may never happen. Stoics practice negative visualization, imagining the worst-case scenario, to prepare themselves mentally for possible outcomes. This technique works to desensitize us to fear by normalizing the discomfort of uncertainty. By imagining worst-case scenarios, the Stoic develops emotional strength and resilience to accept the inevitable. Anxiety. Anxiety often stems from focusing on the uncontrollable. The Stoic approach involves focusing only on what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and responses, while accepting the unpredictability of life. Seneca's writing on the shortness of life reminds us that anxiety arises from fearing the future. By reflecting on life's brevity, we can let go of worry and live in the present. The role of negative visualization. Negative visualization is one of the most potent tools for managing emotions and building resilience. By imagining and mentally preparing for the worst-case scenario, the Stoic practice ensures that we don't face shocks or surprises when things go wrong. This practice doesn't mean that we wish bad things to happen, but rather that we prepare ourselves emotionally for the inevitable challenges that life brings. Example. Imagine that you fear losing your job. A Stoic would engage in negative visualization by vividly imagining the scenario, losing the job, experiencing hardship, and searching for another position. By confronting this possibility, we build the emotional strength to accept any outcome and feel more prepared to take proactive steps when facing adversity. Equanimity, the art of remaining steady in both joy and sorrow. Equanimity is the Stoic ideal of maintaining mental and emotional balance regardless of external circumstances. It's about cultivating a steady mind that remains unshaken in both good and bad times. This concept emphasizes that external events do not define us, it is our response to them that matters. Key insights. Joy and sorrow are transient emotions that arise from external circumstances. While Stoics encourage living fully in the moment, they also caution not to become too attached to either extreme. Equanimity can be developed through the constant practice of reflection and maintaining the perspective that life's highs and lows are temporary. Practical Stoic exercises for building resilience. Daily reflection. Daily reflection, often done through journaling, is an essential Stoic exercise for building resilience. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca wrote daily journals to reflect on their thoughts, actions, and responses. This practice helps us track our growth, identify emotional patterns, and apply Stoic principles. Benefits. Self-awareness. By writing down your thoughts and actions, you begin to see where you are succeeding or failing to live according to Stoic virtues. Reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? This encourages constant improvement. Voluntary discomfort. Stoics believe that practicing voluntary discomfort, deliberately seeking uncomfortable situations, strengthens resilience. This may include things like taking cold baths, fasting, or denying yourself simple pleasures. How it works. By embracing discomfort, we build mental toughness and become less dependent on external comforts for happiness. It trains us to focus on inner strength, rather than external conditions. Example. Try fasting for a day or taking a cold shower. While initially uncomfortable, the process teaches you that you can endure hardship and thrive despite it. Mindfulness and focus. Stoics emphasize the practice of mindfulness, being present in the moment, fully engaged with what you're doing, and not allowing distractions to derail your peace of mind. Meditation, as practiced by some modern Stoics, is a form of mindfulness that helps us maintain focus on the present and avoid becoming overwhelmed by distractions. Practical tip. Spend a few minutes daily focusing solely on your breathing, letting go of past regrets and future worries. This helps cultivate a state of mental clarity and peace. Reframing thoughts. Cognitive reframing is a central Stoic practice that involves changing your perspective on situations. When we face adversity, we can choose to see it as an obstacle or an opportunity for growth. For example, instead of viewing failure as a setback, a Stoic would reframe it as a valuable learning experience. Practical technique. When faced with a challenging situation, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to improve myself? The view from above. This Stoic technique involves imagining yourself as a small part of the vast universe, viewing your problems from a greater perspective. When you focus on the larger picture, the difficulties of daily life appear much smaller in comparison. This helps reduce stress and enhances resilience. How to practice. Spend a few moments imagining you are observing your life from a great height, seeing the world from a cosmic perspective. This exercise can help you detach emotionally from small problems and put them in perspective. Resilience in relationships. Stoic ethics in social interactions. Stoicism teaches that we should treat others with respect and fairness. Stoics believe that the best way to cultivate resilience in relationships is through acting with virtue in all interactions, whether they are with friends, family, or strangers. Key ideas. Compassion, understand that everyone is struggling with their own challenges, and respond with empathy. Non-attachment, do not become overly attached to others' opinions or behavior. Accept people as they are, without trying to change them. Dealing with criticism. Stoics teach that criticism, even when harsh, can be valuable if viewed as an opportunity to grow. Rather than being offended, Stoics see criticism as a mirror, a chance to reflect on whether it's justified or not. The key is not to allow external judgments to disturb your inner peace. Practical tip. When criticized, ask yourself, is this criticism based on truth? What can I learn from this? Forgiveness and empathy. Forgiveness is a central aspect of Stoic philosophy. Instead of holding grudges, Stoics encourage empathy, seeing others' faults as the result of ignorance or misguided judgment. Forgiving others and practicing empathy can lead to greater inner peace and relational resilience. The role of friendship in resilience. True friendship, according to Stoics, is based on shared virtue and mutual growth. Stoic friends support each other in their pursuit of wisdom, and their bond is rooted in the desire to improve themselves together. Key point, a Stoic friendship is not based on need or dependency, but on a mutual commitment to living virtuously. Resilience in adversity. Dealing with personal tragedy and loss. Stoicism teaches that loss and tragedy are natural parts of life, and that we must accept them with equanimity. The key is to recognize that grief, while painful, is a normal human experience. The Stoic approach emphasizes embracing loss with a clear mind and seeing it as an opportunity to practice resilience. Key concepts. Acceptance. Accept the loss as part of life. Reflection. Use the grief as an opportunity to reflect on the impermanence of life. Adversity as opportunity. For Stoics, adversity is never purely negative. It is seen as a chance to practice virtue, resilience, and growth. Stoics believe that the most difficult challenges can lead to the greatest personal transformations. The importance of patience. Patience is a central Stoic virtue, particularly in times of prolonged difficulty. Stoics understand that some struggles take time, and patience is necessary to allow events to unfold naturally. By practicing patience, we learn to respond to adversity with calm and grace. The role of fate and destiny. Stoics accept fate as part of the natural order. They believe that while we cannot control the events that happen to us, we can choose how to respond to them. By embracing fate, Stoics cultivate inner peace and resilience, accepting that the universe operates in a rational, interconnected way. The Stoics' Guide to Achieving Inner Peace. The Stoic Mindset for Inner Peace. The core of Stoicism is the idea that true peace comes from within and is not dependent on external circumstances. This mindset is rooted in the understanding that our perceptions, judgments, and emotional responses determine whether we experience peace or disturbance. According to the Stoics, the external world is unpredictable, and to find peace, we must learn to control our internal responses. Key Stoic insight. As Epictetus famously said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Stoicism teaches that inner peace arises from focusing on what we can control, our own thoughts, beliefs, and actions, while letting go of the desire to control the uncontrollable. External events, whether they are successes, failures, or challenges, do not directly affect our inner tranquility unless we allow them to. Letting go of external validation. One of the most transformative aspects of Stoic philosophy is the practice of self-sufficiency and internal validation. Stoics believe that seeking approval or validation from others is a recipe for emotional instability. When we depend on external validation, we give others power over our emotional well-being. The Stoic path to inner peace involves developing a strong sense of self-worth that does not rely on external factors. Practical application. Self-reflection. Regularly evaluate your actions and motivations. Ask yourself if you are acting based on your own values, not because of others' expectations. Detachment from opinions. practice detaching your sense of self-worth from the opinions of others. For example, if you face criticism, ask whether it's truly based on something you value or whether it's merely an external judgment. Example: Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often reflected on the idea that we should seek only the approval of our own reason and virtue. His meditations show how he trained himself to focus on his own moral compass, not the fleeting approval of others. Achieving harmony with the universe. A fundamental Stoic principle is accepting and aligning with the natural order of the universe. Stoics believed that the universe operates according to rational, immutable laws, and that everything is interconnected. To achieve inner peace, we must recognize and accept that we are part of this vast, natural order. Key insight. Stoics argue that peace comes from accepting our place in the grand scheme of things, understanding that we cannot control everything. By recognizing that the universe unfolds according to its own natural laws, we reduce our resistance to what happens and instead focus on how we respond. Practical application. Acceptance of fate. Embrace the notion that we cannot control the future, and that things will unfold as they must. This involves accepting what life brings us without unnecessary resistance. Perspective shift. Imagine yourself as a small part of the vast universe, recognizing that your personal struggles are but a moment in the grand timeline of existence. This practice cultivates mental clarity and allows you to see challenges as opportunities for growth. Finding balance in chaos. The Stoic principle of equanimity teaches us how to remain calm in both joyous and chaotic situations. External turmoil, such as stress, uncertainty, or conflict, often threatens our sense of peace. However, Stoics assert that inner peace is not achieved by eliminating chaos but by finding balance amid it. Key concept. Balance comes from aligning with Stoic virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, no matter what life throws at you. The Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control helps us remain steadfast in the face of external disturbance. Practical exercises. Mindfulness. Develop mindfulness to stay focused on your thoughts, emotions, and actions, especially during difficult times. By pausing and reflecting, you create a gap between stimulus and response, which allows you to choose your reactions intentionally. Emotional distance. Practice stepping back from emotionally charged situations, observing them as if they are happening to someone else. This helps avoid being swept up in the chaos.